What is up, people? It's Wednesday night. My name is Elliot and this is at UP Fitness Live, and this is our live feed where we answer any questions, queries, myths, legends, blow through some smoke, and all of the usual quotes that I throw out at the beginning of all of these. Andrew Willett first in, hello, one of our very own Live Up members. Of course, on this live feed, we will talk about any of the products that we have, whether that be Live Up, whether that be one-to-one online training, personal training, any of the venues, anything else you could want to ask. Vivian, welcome back. Mozilla, lots of you coming in nice and fast. It's almost like you were waiting for me. Any news? Do we have any news? Oh, I went to the UP London and kind of Manchester, UK Christmas do on Saturday. Went to Altitude in Millbank Tower, and it was absolutely awesome. So for any one of the staff who may be watching this that I haven't yet met before, but I did meet there, it was awesome to see you all. And do you know what was fascinating? Perspective as to how much this business has changed since I started. Now, you know, you go back 6 or 7 years, I think it was worked out about around 7-ish years, that I joined the business, and the amount of people that used to show up to Christmas do's back then was probably, you know, maybe 15 people. There was 124 people in the room, and I think it was less than half of the people we currently have working with the business across the planet. Now, Nick also stood up, our great leader, stood up, made a speech, talked to us a little bit about the future of the business, what's happening, to keep us up to date on the movements. Obviously, as a lot of you know, we've expanded into America now. We have gyms all over the world. You know, we have them in Australia, we have them in Asia, Dubai, obviously all over Europe. This is going from strength to strength to strength. So amazing, amazing things happening with UP. Thank you all for supporting us. As always, huge things are going to happen this year. In other news, I personally am looking for 2 interns basically to come and assist us here in Marbella, and this is probably going to be a based in Marbella job. You know, it's not something we can help you with accommodation. So if you are Marbella area and you want to be a UPPT in the future, we are taking on 2 interns to assist us here through New Year, because everything has got so damn busy. So if you or you know someone who may be interested in that, make sure you drop us a message, or you go to recruitment@upfitness.com with your CV and why you think you would be right for that job. Who's going to break my question virginity today? I've got my lemon water, as always, craving killer, hydrator, stomach helper, all of the above. Ben, no, we won't, unfortunately. As some of you may or may know, Marbella is a very, very unique gym within the brand. It's our only commercial style gym, so it's considerably bigger. It's about 3 times bigger than the rest of the gyms. A lot of outdoor areas, but it's a members walk-in gym as well as PT gym. This means that the demand for having staff on the gym floor for general times is a bit different to PT only gyms like Manchester. So right now, no, there is no internship, excuse me, there is no internship positions available at any of the other gyms. Kurt Reed, for hypertrophy goals, is it important to go through strength training phases? I would suggest yes, it is, because the stronger you are, the more load you can lift when going into higher volume phases. So yes, absolutely. There's also something to be said for the intensification and accumulation phases of a sort of hypertrophy workout, because obviously the heavier you're lifting, it's going to have quite a taxing effect on your nervous system and on your joints as well as the muscles, whereas when you can drop the overall load a little bit, increase volume, it's going to help circulation, nutrient delivery, and a little bit of neural recovery. So it's important to vary things. If you want to get strong and you want to get big, make sure you are varying your training programs. Now, how often should you do that? Dependent on you. Some of you out there, especially those who've been doing it a long time, those of you who have genetically adaptive bodies, you are going to be able to spend less time on a particular program than others. But that's not to say that you should be switching things up too often. Be aware of that. So for the majority of people, 3 to 6 weeks on any given program is about right. Specialization program, day 1, lower body, loved it. Boom, Anito, another Live Up member, absolutely loving what's going on, although I may not be saying the same in the morning, no doubt. Move, heat, ice, baths, Epsom salts, all of the usual things to try and reduce DOMs. Again, with any workout, you're always going to end up with a lot of pain because of a different stimulus, but don't stress about it. It's not to say that if you're not feeling pain out there, if you've done a workout and you're not feeling DOMs, that doesn't mean it's an ineffective workout. It just means you may have adapted to it slightly. You're still going to be stimulating though, so don't stress it. But well done, Anito. Well done. Laura Cupcakes, one of my superstars. Kurt Reed, you're welcome, not a problem. Plenty of you in. Woo, Wednesday, can you clear up why spinning is bad? Is it true it can make legs chunky even in a calorie deficit? Yeah, it has issues. There's a science behind this, which I can't remember now for the life of me because I've not spoken about it for years. But what you have to remember ultimately is that endurance style sports like that are, of any kind, are potentially going to make your legs muscular initially, something like spinning, because there's a lot of stop-start sprints. But in the end, you're going to elevate your cortisol levels. You're going to cause muscle tissue breakdown, which is going to reduce your metabolic output. So potentially, the wrong kind of exercise, as weird as this sounds, can contribute to making you fatter. Spinning certainly isn't optimal. If you want to do a spin style exercise, if it's something you really enjoy, then keep them short. Use them as intervals, you know. Put on some of your favorite really quick tracks or contrasting tracks, quick versus slow, and then spin yourself for 20 minutes, whatever. But you know, an hour-long spin class, and I do know this because I used to teach them myself. An hour-long spin class is, yes, it's going to burn some calories, but there is a knock-on effect to doing that sort of thing for so long. A, you're not really going to build much muscle. B, it's going to affect your fat loss. C, it's likely to unfavorably affect your appetite. It's certainly going to unfavorably affect your hormonal balance, you know, cortisol, etc. after a while. Guys, potentially testosterone as well if you're overtraining, etc. So there's a lot that goes into it, but it certainly isn't optimal for fat loss. If, however, it's just a case of getting you off the sofa, then is spinning very bad? No, it's not. But if you're looking for a transformation, and this is ultimately what we talk about here, it's how to get a transformation. How can you optimize everything that you are doing to get that transformation in minimum time with minimum effort? Don't spin. Hello, Nick. Hello, Nick again. Lots of you coming in. Kurt Reed. If you're following a 4-day split, would you still follow the rule of not training more than 2 consecutive days without a rest day? Kurt Reed, yes. In my opinion, you would. If I were to say, for instance, if I was going to write you a 4-day split, I wouldn't let you train more than twice, especially if you're trying to grow. If hypertrophy is your goal, remember that all you're doing in the gym is you're stimulating that growth. You're not actually growing when you're in the gym. The longer you are in the gym, the more likely you are to be breaking down muscle tissue and not building it. So if hypertrophy is your goal, then get in the gym, stimulate, then get out of the gym, rest. You rest when you grow. There's an old adage the bodybuilders used to use, was it, why run when you can walk, why walk when you can stand, why stand when you can sit, why sit when you can lie down. And that's basically just a case of, if you want to grow, rest a lot. Sammy, hello. Nick Brev. So I've been doing step-ups with 1 dumbbell onto a fixed bench, so a bit lower. Been stepping up with a tempo of 3-0-1-1. Yes, that sounds absolutely fine. Something I really like on a step-up is to make sure that the foot that hits the ground when you're doing a step-up, you know, put all of the weight on the elevated leg. The foot that hits the ground, don't let the toe hit the ground. Try that and you'll find that it really works the leg that you're trying to work, as opposed to you just kicking off the toes. Gabrielle Ashmore, is a cross trainer good for fat loss? It's good, better than sitting on the sofa and doing nothing. You know, if you're burning calories, you're burning calories. Steady state cardio is good for getting lean when it is used in conjunction with a heavily loaded weight training program. So is it the first thing you should be going to do if you have fat to lose? No, it's not. Is it useful as a kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, secondary part of a training program? Yes, it can be, but not in excess. Don't do it too much. Weightlifting is always going to be your best friend. Is muscle memory a real thing for someone who used to weight training for years and stopped for 6 months, or is it more down to genetics? No, absolutely. You know, there's a combination of a bunch of things. Your muscle, if you've been there before, you're likely to get bigger again. You also know how to train. Chances are you know how to eat. Chances are you know your body quite well. There's a number of factors that go into it aside from just the theory of muscle memory. But yes, I do believe that is true. And obviously when you have created new muscle cells, you know, they may shrink, they may grow, but ultimately if they're there, you are going to grow quicker if they've been there up to a baseline anyway. Haley, on the Live Up Online Women plan, can you choose how aggressive you want the plan? Yes, that's basically down to how hard you train. We would expect you to train extremely hard, obviously, if you want results, that is. And which hand do you hold the dumbbell? The one opposite, the one on the bench? Potentially, it kind of depends how you want to do it. So if you were to hold it above the one on the bench, theoretically it's loading that leg slightly less. Basically, it seems counterproductive, but if I'm standing on my left leg and I'm holding my dumbbell or the dumbbell in my left hand, then that weight is there. If you hold it in the right hand, it's trying to stop your body from tipping this way as well. So it will actually increase engagement on the glutes, on the abductors as well. So I would hold it in the opposite hand to the leg that you are stepping up on. I'm trying to put muscle mass on and I want to start adding calisthenics into my weekly plan. Will this have much of an impact on building mass? Yes, it probably will, because you need to be pretty light to be good at calisthenics. So it's a bit of a contraindicated goal there. Hi mate, what would you consider, or would you consider to be healthy testosterone level for men around 35? It's massive, massive, massive variables there. I believe the scale is somewhere between about 15 and 40 odd. So anywhere between there, but get it tested, speak to your doctor. I'm working at Soho House Gym as a supervisor of cleaners with a promise to progress to PT in February. How would you use that time in between to become a successful PT and eventually? Joe Cadet, number one, watch everybody. Spend as much time on the gym floor watching as many people as you can. Watch the good ones, see how they do things. Watch the bad ones, see how they do things. Understand, ask questions, speak to clients, speak to trainers, ask them about the things they're doing. And again, remember, the more you are speaking to the people around you, if you then become a PT, the easier it's going to be to get clients from, get basically members as clients. And train hard. When you're training yourself, train hard, put on a show, let them see that they should be training with you. Let them see you train harder than the people who are already PTing. That's going to inspire them, and they'll say, wow, what do you do? Blah, 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 blah. So actually, this is what I'm doing right now, but I'm going to be a PT in so long. When I am, come and see me. What cardio exercise is best to lose fat? Alongside a weight training program, whatever cardio exercise you're willing to do. There is no best one, I wouldn't suggest. You know, maybe something like a step mill. If you're talking about steady state, a step mill, because it is difficult. If we're talking about any kind of cardio, then it would be high intensity interval training, such as sprints. But ultimately, the best kind is the one that you are going to get off the sofa and consistently do, because this is the thing with cardio. If you add cardio to a training program, a lot of people just don't do it. You know, they say, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do an hour a day, I'm going to do 30 minutes a day, I'm going to do this, blah, 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 blah. And then you do maybe one every 2 weeks. So pick something you enjoy. It could be horse riding, it could be tennis, it could be, you name it. Find something that you enjoy doing and do that, because that means you're going to get off your ass, get off the sofa and get it done, and do it consistently. Why does my sleep get worse the leaner I get? Harry, it could potentially be elevated cortisol. Your stress hormone could be getting a little bit too high. It could also be a lack of calories. A lack of calories can cause you to lose your sleep. Are you dieting low carb or high carb? There could be an issue with serotonin there as well. A million different things. Obviously, make sure you're supplementing with things like magnesium, because as you're getting leaner as well, you may become deficient in certain things. There could be there's at least 5 or 6 major reasons why that could be that I've just listed, but you will know based on looking at your diet which of those is most likely, and therefore you'll know what to adjust. You're welcome, Nick, not a problem. Thank you a lot for your answer, no problem at all. Another quick one. If I'm going to weight train, how often should I weigh myself? Don't weigh yourself at all, Gabrielle. This is my advice to you. This is my advice to all of you, especially you females. If you females have a pen and paper next to you, or even a pen, write it in big letters on your arm. Do not weigh yourself. Go upstairs and smash the scales, throw them out the kitchen window. They are not relevant to you, they are not important to you. They are more likely, believe it or not, to ruin your attempts to get in shape than they are to aid them. Trust me when I say this, I've been doing this a very long time. I've specialized in female fat loss for a very long time. Do not weigh yourself. Get rid of them, bin them off, fuck them off, whatever you want to call it. No more weighing yourself. Don't do it. I don't allow, on the Live Up plans, for instance, I don't allow women to weigh themselves. They weigh themselves at the start just to see what they are, and then I do not allow them to weigh themselves for the rest of the time. Unfortunately, a lot of them don't listen, and they do it anyway, but I can only lead a horse to water, I can't make it drink. Do not weigh yourself, Gabrielle, that's a big mistake. Danny Wade, what's up? One of our own. When doing dumbbell Romanian deadlifts, I'm feeling in my lower back when I get fatigued. Doing anything wrong here? Potentially many things. Of course, because of your back position, you are going to feel it. You are still loading your back. It's a very, very good and very effective posterior chain exercise. But potentially you could be rounding your back and extending your back rather than your hamstring. So are you doing them with slightly bent knees? That would be the question I'm asking. If you stand up right now, soften your knees slightly just so there's a bend in them, and then tilt your pelvis, okay? Soften your knees and tilt your pelvis like you're sticking your ass out. That's your starting position for a Romanian deadlift. if you look actually on my profile, I put a video of dumbbell Romanian deadlifts the other day with one of our old trainers, Katie, and it just shows you the form and how to do it. If it doesn't look like that, then that's probably why. You may well be rounding your back rather than stretching the hamstrings. So does a Live Up plan contain different nutrition plans and workout plans depending on how quickly you want to transform? No, it contains one nutrition plan and one workout plan that is the absolute quickest way to transform. If you are wanting to transform less optimally or whatever it may be, then it may not be the plan for you, Silky. Keto diet, no, it's absolute bollocks in my opinion. Do I think it's the best for weight loss, or would I suggest something else? Calorie deficit is given, but any other suggestions? Ultimately, that's it, Travel. The thing with keto is, number one, let's put it this way. If I give you a diet and I say, right, I want you to eat loads and loads of vegetables, which you probably don't like because most of us have not eaten vegetables since we were children. I'm going to give you relatively plain proteins, relatively plain fats, not crazy exciting, and I say, right, this is going to get you lean and it's going to cost 100 quid, okay? This is your diet, this is going to get you lean, it's going to cost 100 quid. Or I say, right, this is another diet, it's going to get you lean, it's going to cost 100 quid, but you can eat bacon, cheese, cream, blah, 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 blah. Which of the two are you going to buy? The boring vegetables and protein one, or the cheese and cream one? You're always going this way. So first and foremost, for me, within the fitness industry, part of it's a sales ploy. It's to trick you into buying a particular plan because it's fun and because it's easy and because it's manageable. Now, is that to say it's not effective? No, absolutely. You take away all of your carbohydrates, initially you are going to lose fat. You know, ultimately it's causing a calorie deficit as well, which over time is going to make you lose fat. So either way, you're going to lose fat, depending on which diet you get. One of them's more fun than the other. The issue again with it is that the people who advocate it, the people who you see out there who are selling keto, saying this, that, the other, it's amazing, usually aren't doing keto, okay? One of the biggest advocates for it is Mr. DeLauer, Thomas DeLauer. Now this guy is incredibly intelligent, he's very eloquent, he speaks very, very well, he seems like a really good guy. And guarantee you that guy's not got in the shape he's in because of ketosis. Not happened at all, but he is smart and it does have merit for medical uses. It does have merit for sorting out medical issues or ailments that you may need to do. However, for body composition, no, it's far from optimal, don't do it. Balance your diet, control the calories, high protein, moderate carb, dependent on your ability to digest carbs, and relatively high fat, usually for good hormonal health, but you shouldn't be cutting out vegetables. And again, with ketosis, it's often completely misunderstood, you know, it's abused essentially. So is keto any good? No, not in my opinion. I also don't like intermittent fasting. So for anyone who's going to ask me about that, I don't like intermittent fasting because those are always two that come close together. My other half has been Estro Support after she's recommended it, and she's feeling so much better in many ways, and it's helped the problems a lot. So you're most welcome. Give her my regards. I'm glad it really does help out. Estro Support, for any of you out there who suffer with the usual female issues, it could be mood swings, it could be period pains, it could be heavy PMS, it could be fat storage around the arms, thighs, bum. We have a supplement called Estro Support, which is absolutely phenomenal for kind of liberating toxic estrogens from the body, supporting phase 2 and phase 3 of detoxification to actually get them out of your body. So for any of you out there who really suffer with your periods or suffer with estrogen related issues, same applies to guys, you know, if you've got man boobs, this can really be beneficial. Get Estro Support, it's absolutely phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Your opinion on carb cycling for body transformations? Amazing, 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 amazing. However, use it when you're lean enough. You should be using carb cycling when you're already fairly lean. Then it can really, really get the most out of you. Until then, start at a calorie baseline and a low carb for 99% of people, unless you're carrying an awful lot of muscle. Low carb, get down as lean as you can in a linear fashion without playing around with your diet. You know, keep it super simple. Then when you can no longer get leaner and you don't want to drop any more calories for whatever reason, they could already be too low, then you start carb cycling. Hi Elliot, I've been told ATP levels in my liver are raised above normal. Can this affect my fat loss on Live Up? Could well be associated with the fact that you are training. Now, a lot of waste products are accumulated when you're weightlifting. Okay, so that could just be that. It depends how elevated, but give your doctor a call if you're concerned and just say, he or she should know that if you are weight training, your body produces a lot of waste products. You know, we talk about lactic acid, we talk about all these things. It could just be that. So sometimes in people who are well trained, liver markers can be a little bit higher. That's fairly normal, but speak to your doctor if you're concerned. It shouldn't really be affecting your fat loss though, unless something else is off. It's highly unlikely it's that. Plus, if your photos are anything to go by, nothing is affecting your fat loss. You are half the size that you were 3 or 4 months ago. It's gonna, without a doubt, Laura, your transformational live up is going to be one of the transformations that UP has ever done, ever. So you keep on that, don't let anything get to your head. Tasha East, hey to you as well. Rosa de Posa as a one-off. What as a one-off? Folks, remember, please make sure you put all of your question in one post, because when I'm running down through this, I can't go back to figure out what the first half of your question is. So one question in one post, don't split it up. Hi, can you provide me the best alternative exercise for people having shoulder issues on bench press? First of all, probably stop bench pressing just for a while till it sorts out. And do you need to really train your chest that much? No, train your chest once a week. It's probably going to be adequate. Can you do incline stuff? If not, it depends on the shoulder issue. There's a lot of different things that could be. First and foremost, stop training your chest. Stretch out your shoulders, pecs, and biceps. That may help. See how it goes. Miss G, I agree. No scales, absolutely. I've been in and out of hospital in the past week and I've had severe abdominal pains. Haven't been able to train and diet dropped due to lack of appetite. Best way to get myself motivated again. Just get back into it. Throw yourself back in at the deep end is the way to do it. I was looking on UP Fitness today about insulin levels affecting weight loss. I've got very low estrogen levels. Can this affect weight loss, and can estro support help this as hormone related? Tasha East, I wouldn't necessarily suggest you take estrogen or estro support if you already have been diagnosed with very low estrogen levels, because that can it can cause further issues. With regards to getting it up, you may need some form of medication for that to try and drive it up to get your hormones relatively well balanced again. Insulin levels absolutely can affect weight loss. I'm not sure what relevance that had to the rest of it though. But yeah, I wouldn't necessarily recommend taking estro support with already low estrogen, because it helps to balance everything out, but it could also maybe take it a bit too low, which could then cause issues with your reproductive system, etc. So you're welcome, Danny. Charge, what's up, Barry? Alicia, do you have any advice for what you can do if you messed up your diet by emotionally overeating for a couple of days? What's the best way to rebound and not lose too much progress when you're on your online plan? First of all, put it behind you. It's one of those things, we all do it, but to sit and dwell on it is a really stupid thing to do. You're gonna slip, you can't be perfect. None of us out there can be perfect, no matter how hard we try. So first and foremost, take a big deep breath, say, do you know what, it's okay. I've done it now, I can't change it, I can't go back on that. It is what it is, so move on. Secondly, why did you emotionally eat? What triggered it? If you understand what triggered it, you will understand how to stop that. So figure it out and stop it from happening again. Third, just get back into it. Get back into it, just get on with it. So long as you've put it behind you, as long as you've addressed the trigger and the thing that could have made it happen, you've solved the problems, you've adapted and you've identified the root cause, you then adapt yourself or whatever your situation happens to be to move around that, and then just get back into it. It's that simple. Rosa, I never really trained my chest as a female, meaning bench press. Do you think it's a mistake? I believe that other weight exercises just use my chest muscles. Yeah, I don't actually train females' chests myself. I do a little bit of dips. I do like dips because it helps to balance the shoulders out and give them a bit of stability through the rotator cuff. And I do shoulder presses, but I don't actually do chest work. So no, I don't personally think it's necessary unless you really want to be good at bench pressing. Barso, what's up? Tasha, you've just answered my question because of Ben's question. Thank you. We'll definitely get some extra support. Okie dokie. Laura Cupcakes. Welcome. I can't lose weight. I've tried everything. I'm 20, 21 in April, and I want to lose at least a stone by April. Right, Zara, here is the thing. You can't lose weight and you have tried everything. I can 100% guarantee, uncategorically, that's not even the right word because I'm so passionate about what I'm about to say to you. You have not tried everything. I would say in my career, 250 people have come to me and said exactly the same thing. The first thing I have tried to get them in shape has got them in shape. You have not tried everything. What you're doing there is trying to find a reason that you haven't lose weight. The chances are you've done diets that are too low in calorie and then you've cheated, binged and gone crazy. Or you just eat too much in general, or you don't exercise enough, or you exercise too hard. Guarantee you haven't tried anything. Don't just step up and throw in the towel like that. If you think you've tried everything, have you tried UP Fitness online training? No. Have you tried Live Up? No. Have you tried all of these things? Guarantee you haven't. So that's a bit of an excuse. If you want help, then go onto the website, upfitness.com, and go to the Live Up plan and we can help you out. The fact of the matter is that mindset is probably what's keeping you fat. Follow you up on estro support supplements. So menopausal or perimenopausal women should avoid it. Perimenopausal, it could potentially help in my opinion. Now I don't want to make claims on this because I would have to speak to Joe, our mad scientist who formulates our supplements. He's far, far, far more intelligent than me. Potentially, in my opinion, it could help during the kind of perimenopausal stage. It could help to regulate estrogen. Postmenopausal, not so sure personally, but I would have to check up with Joe on that just to make sure. That in theory, to me, it doesn't. That's not sound because estrogen is all but gone by then. It's a funny one. I'm not sure it would necessarily work at that stage, postmenopause. So let me get back to you on that. Rosa the Poser, I'm here. Hey Elliot, I had a cold or fly in the past few days, and appetite gone up a good bit. Is this normal, hungry hippo? Yeah, because your body's fighting something. So, you know, as we've discussed that you're checking emails, you probably need to be eating more food and certainly driving that up a bit. So if you're a bit more hungry, then eat a little bit more. Mentally Strong Fitness, what do you think of beef protein? I love it. I love a good steak. I love a good everything. So protein, why not? Rotate your sources. Do I have any real opinion on beef protein powder? Not necessarily. I can't say I've done much research into it, so I wouldn't have said I've got an issue. I'm neither here nor there on it. What's the best source of information to learn about training, anatomy, and nutrition? Part UP Books, Instagram, website, and your amazing life. Thank you so much. Vivian, one of the best things I would recommend you do, I might have the book down there, but I'm not going to disappear off from camera, is Frederick Delavier's Anatomy of Strength. It's an absolutely awesome book. I will see if it's down there actually, just in case. It's a book that I used way, way, way back in the day to kind of help me. I actually got it through while I was doing a massage therapy course. So I did a diploma, level 4 diploma in sports massage therapy when I was younger. And one of the key reasons for me to do it was the better I knew my anatomy and physiology, the better I could manipulate weight training techniques. And it really, really helped. So this one here, this is the book. Strength Training Anatomy is one of the best books in my opinion. For any of you out there who train, who want to learn more about the anatomy, want to learn more about what exercises do what, how to construct programs, this working alongside something like our Principles of Muscle Building and a meal plan book, obviously if you want to diet, this is one of my all-time favorites. So I highly recommend you get it. Frederick Delavier, Strength Training Anatomy, absolutely awesome. Right, what have we got next? Good advice. Do you guys have a gym in Birmingham? We may well very soon, so keep an eye out for that. It's coming. Target Fit UK, I've got it. It's an awesome book. I would imagine a lot of you out there who are into your training and have been for some time will see that book. It's honestly, it's been around for so long, and it's stood the test of time. You know, I know there's a bunch of new editions. That's one of the older editions. I've had it for at least 10 years. That's in damn good condition actually for that. I've had a couple of copies of it. I've bought copies of it for junior trainers here. So it's something I really rate. Really highly recommend that book. Indeed, MJ Rich. I know you're a very smart man, you know a lot about this, but essentially, you have the types of estrogen, so 2-hydroxy, 4-hydroxy, and 16-hydroxy. Now, 2 is obviously very protective, it's good. 4 and 16 are often the harmful ones, xenoestrogens, etc. And obviously you know the process of aromatization. Now, what estro support helps to do is reduce the aromatization process. It helps to detox estrogens, 4 and 16 hydroxy estrogens. But again, it's a bit of a gray area. I think the theory for me does not support that as a supplement for post-menopausal women. So it would, as I say, I don't want to hazard a guess on the facts of this. I would have to dig into it with Joe. To me, I would say no, but don't hold me to that, because there's way more going on there than is on face value. And as I say, it doesn't just indiscriminately reduce estrogen, but I wouldn't want to say either way. So, best advice on cutting out chocolate for me is cut it out. As simple as that. Depends how much you're eating, right? You know, if you want to have a square or 2 squares of chocolate a night, have 2 squares of chocolate a night. Just don't have a bar of chocolate a night. Control your calories elsewhere. You have just told me that you've tried absolutely everything, but now you're asking me how to cut out chocolate. Tells me that you've not tried cutting out chocolate. Yeah, just control things. Don't try and be too extreme on a diet, especially if you're struggling with your weight and you're quite young. You're very, very young, you know, so still hormonally things are going all over the place with you, Zara. So you have to remember that that's going to have an effect too. But the key is to look at, number 1, first and foremost, control your calories. Number 2, don't do anything too extremes. Make small changes, habitual changes over time. So, you know, if you're having a bar of chocolate a day, have a bite of chocolate a day. That in itself is going to reduce your calorie intake by probably 100 a day. Okay, that is going to have an effect over time. It may not be a really quick effect, but it will have an effect. Once you have mastered that, and you know, do you know what, this is easy. It's really easy for me to just have a bite of chocolate a day. I'm not eating loads, I'm perfectly fulfilled, I'm happy, this is cool. Then you say, right, I'm gonna have my bite of chocolate a day is done. I'm going to, instead of having 5 cups of coffee with milk in them, which is probably another 200 calories, I'm gonna have 1 cup of coffee without milk in it, or with some almond milk or something like that. Suddenly, with having a bite of chocolate instead of a bar, and having 1 coffee instead of 5 coffees like you normally do, you've reduced your daily calorie intake by 300 calories. Suddenly you're getting lean. You're getting lean really, really quickly, and you've only made 2 tiny little manageable changes. What most people probably do, and this is why I do these live feeds, because so many of you get it wrong, is you go from eating shit, McDonald's, chocolate, ice cream, bang, 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 saying, oh God, shit, I've got to go on a diet. So you eat nothing but lettuce and boiled chicken. Guess what? You're going to fail. You're going to fuck up. You can't do that. You can't create such a massive change without expecting some kind of both psychological and physical pushback from your body. So small changes, small habitual changes, master the habit, and then try something different, you know, add a different change. Alicia, I have genetically bigger calves, and they are quite big from being a dancer most of my life. Can you slim down bulky calves? Alicia, there's about 1 million men watching this somewhere on YouTube and on the Instagram channel who are screaming at you now, saying, you fucking bitch, if only I had calves, but I don't have little needles below my knees. But unfortunately not. There's not really much way that you can slim down, but don't wish them away. Good calves on a woman are an amazing, amazing thing, so don't wish them away. That's awesome. You said once creatine after workout. Why is that? Because post-workout, your muscle cells are going to absorb it better, because I say you've used glucose, you've used fuel, and you can use protein and carbs in a post-workout shake, for instance, to funnel more of the creatine directly into the muscle cell. Have there been any updates on the Manchester seminars as of yet? No, there have not, Ben. There's lots of other stuff got to go on before that, unfortunately, sorry. I do appreciate how keen you are for that though, I love that. What about chocolate protein bars? Should we believe the nutrition facts? No, Ali, chocolate protein bars, any kind of protein bar. Put it this way, the majority of protein bars are full of shit. Full of shit. They're going to destroy your gut. If your gut is in trouble, if you have leaky gut, if you have holes in your gut, if you're not absorbing other nutrients because your gut is damaged, then you are really going to struggle to lose fat. Protein bars are not a good thing. They are far from it. Not only that, but if we take it just even on a calorie balance, your average, let's say, Quest bar, for instance, this is me, Elliot Upton, saying this, not UP. Your average Quest bar is about 270 odd calories. Guess what your average Mars bar is? It's about 170. All you've done is take something really shit and then add shit protein to it. You've not made it any more healthy, you've just added calories. It's simple as that. You know, but people think, oh, protein something or other, this must be healthy. Oh, protein baked beans, protein Mars bar, protein chocolate, protein ice cream, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't make it any more healthy. It usually just adds protein and calories. Think about that. The key, if you genuinely want to be lean, you want to be healthy, you want to live a long, happy life, then eat foods, not products. If something is a product, i.e. it has been made, then stay away from it. Simple as that. Hi, yeah, I've done my ankle in. What exercise can I do? I'm on crutches, but can't put my foot down on the ground. They say it's not broke. Rest it, Philly. Didn't you ask me this question last week? And it might not have been you, but rest it, you know? See what you can do. I can't tell you based on what you're feeling. I can't tell you what you can and can't do. It would be a case of putting you on certain machines. Can you feel this? Is it causing you problems? Yes or no? I can't do that. I'll have those calves. You see, I told you, someone out there is wanting the calves, Alicia. Zare, I have stretch marks on my stomach. With toning over time, will they fade? Yes, potentially, but you have to be healthy. In order for stretch marks to fade, you have to be healthy. So again, this comes into not crash dieting. It comes into taking your time. It comes to not eating shit like chocolate. And then, yes, they will. I was very, very fat my whole life, super, super fat. I got stretch marks. I had stretch marks all over my chest. I had them all over kind of my love handle and belly area. And over time, over years, as I got leaner, as I got healthier, then they did start to disappear. You can slightly see them, but next to nothing. And secondly, don't be ashamed of them, you know? Stuff like that. I'm covered in scars. I've had operations left, right, and center. I've had health problems my whole life. I'm covered in scars. But they're your story. Don't be ashamed of the shit that's happened to you, you know? It's made you who you are, especially things like stretch marks. It is what it is. Every single person on the planet, pretty much somewhere, is gonna have stretch marks. Does anyone pay attention to them? No. You know, maybe you're concerned about the opposite sex or the same sex, whatever, seeing those stretch marks and you think, oh, I'm insecure about this. When was the last time you looked at someone that you were about to go to town on, you know, you were getting giggity, 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 and you thought, oh no, stretch marks. You didn't. You thought, God, I just love looking at you. I love that shape and I love that line, and the stretch mark, God, they just make you interesting. Don't be ashamed of the things that you have and the things that happen to you. This is really important for all of you out there, because you create problems that don't exist and you push them onto other people. You know, this is what destroys relationships. This is a really big thing. So stretch marks, embrace them, love them, enjoy them. They are your story. But can they be helped? Yes, they can. I got a little bit deep there. Stuff like that frustrates me a little bit. I took pre-workout for the first time this week. It made me tingle all over and feel really hot. Is this normal? Is this healthy? Do you recommend it or not? No, I don't recommend you take pre-workout, first and foremost. We're already overstimulated. We do too many things that fatigue our body through overstimulation, so I don't recommend you take pre-workouts. Secondly, if you feel the need that you have to take pre-workouts regularly, it's probably because there's something wrong with your training plan or recovery. It means that you're under-recovering or you're overtraining. Thirdly, the tingle, yes, it's usually beta-alanine. It's a compound that allows your body to reduce waste products. It helps you rebalance the pH, I believe, if I remember rightly, but also can dilate blood vessels. It makes the blood vessels bigger, which causes that tingling. It can cause a hot flush. It brings blood to the surface of your skin, hence the heat. So yes. Ali, what's up? Anthony, what's up? Philly, no problem. MJ Rich wants some calves as well. Alicia, have you got enough to go around? We've got a whole bunch of people in here who want some calves. How was the UP party? Nice to hear the recognition from General Mitchell. It was amazing, yeah. Like I have to be honest, I didn't know most of the people there. I get around the gyms a lot, but it's extraordinarily difficult for me to try and remember. I'm terrible with names anyway. Like, my brain is always working at 1,000,000 miles an hour. I'm not necessarily, that's not to say I'm some amazing efficient blah 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 blah, but I'm always doing something, and I've been terrible with names. You know, I forget the names at moments when I've known, it could be my best friend I've known for 12, 15 years, and I forget their name when I walk up to them. It's really absent. So that was a little bit awkward, because a lot of people are, oh, hey Elliot, and I'm like, oh shit, have I met you? They were like, yeah, we've met a few times, because I'm always rushing around and doing stuff. So that was a bit interesting. Secondly, the perspective of seeing how fast the business is growing and how amazingly so many people inside it are doing, you know. This is the only fitness business on the planet that is giving PTs a career path, and we're seeing young PTs who are just excelling, and you know, they can see they've got the UP bug. They love it. They love every second of working for this business. And it was great. And you know, even standing and seeing Nick stand up there in front of 120 something people, which was less than half of the business as it is now. You know, the first Christmas do I went to, there was maybe 15 people, maximum. We were in a building with less than half of the business in there. It was well over 125 people in there, something like that. Amazing venue. And seeing Nick stand up there and look out over everyone, and you know, it must have been an amazing feel. I was really proud of him. I know that almost seems a little bit patronizing, but looking at, you know, like a boss, a mentor, and someone I'm lucky enough to call a friend, looking up at him to see what he's created, you know, it's a really proud moment, I'm sure, for him, and certainly for me and the people who are close to him looking on, thinking, fuck, man, what have you built? This is incredible, you know, it's a monster. And we've never lost our mission, you know, the more we're growing, we've never lost what we stand for. And that, more than anything that UP has achieved, is what fascinates me the most and what I love the most about it. So yeah, going back there for the Christmas do was awesome. But yeah, everyone drank a bit too much. Everyone was hungover. Some people for 2 or 3 days, but amazing, good experience. It was nice to see all my old friends as well, even though I was too drunk to spend any time with them. Rose of the Poster, stretch marks. You do earn those stripes, absolutely. Alicia, thank you for answering everything. What is the truth about ab workouts? My trainer doesn't have me doing any ab workouts at all, but I'm starting to see abs coming through anyway, so curious. It's just about getting lean. If you want to see your abs get lean, and once you're lean, if you want to train a little bit of abs, then by all means do it. But certainly if you're trying to lose fat, don't waste time doing ab exercises. You know, do the big movements. Bent over rows, do pull-ups, pull-ups are an amazing one for your abs. Dips, amazing one for your abs. Squats, deadlifts, these things are going to work. So once you're lean and once you can see your abs, then by all means chuck in a couple of sets at the end of your session. But otherwise, don't bother. It's kind of a bit of a waste of time in my opinion. How long before a workout do you suggest taking a pre-workout meal? Depends on you. Some people will probably need 2 hours to an hour. I can't train if I'm hungry. I can't concentrate. My brain's not in it. So I can literally eat. 2 minutes later, I can start warming up. Depends. For the majority of people, let's say between 1 and 2 hours. Mentally strong fitness. If someone should eat around 2,000 calories for fat loss but eats up to 1,800 calories and is full, should you force feed yourself more calories or keep it 1,800 calories and see what happens? First of all, are they losing fat? If they're losing fat, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But obviously there you have to take into account fatigue. Are they fatigued? Are their energy levels low? Are they not performing? Are they going up in their weight progressions on their kind of indicator lifts within the workouts? If all of those things are in line, everything's working okay, then there's no point in messing around with it. There's no point in changing it. However, 200 calories is 2 spoons of olive oil. You know, if someone can't eat that, they're talking shit. Give them 2 spoons of olive oil dressing on their vegetables across the day. That's about as much as you need. And it is literally 2 tablespoons of olive oil dressing, 200 calories. Would I be able to lose a stone in 2 months with diet and exercise? Yes, absolutely you would, Zara, 100%. Maxine Monks, hi, I never used to get DOMs. I know that DOMs are not indicative of having worked hard. However, the past 6 months I always get DOMs really bad in my glutes and hamstrings, so bad that I can stop working out. Tar. Is there a question within that? Give me a question within that. Just remind me of the DOMs and then ask me the question if there's one there you want answering. Just bought the Strength Training Anatomy book. Thanks for the recommendation. Really great advice. Glad to hear it, Travel. You'll love it. It's awesome. Opinion on Herbalife shakes. I'm going to cover the UP symbol. This is my opinion, not that of UP. It's almost not worth me talking about it on here because I will get passionately impolite, abusive, many other things that would probably get me in trouble legally. So my advice, before I have to go into any of that, I'm going to keep it simple. Don't do it. They are causing you more damage than good. Remember, this is me, Elliot Upton, not UP. They are doing you more damage than they are doing you good. They will have knock-on effects to your health further down the line, which will cause you to regret them incredibly. They are essentially just ripping you off by preying on your desperation and your need to change and your need to find self-confidence somehow. Do not do it. Shakes, juice, meal replacements, stay away from them. Trust me. Back to normal service now. That was my opinion, Elliot Upton, not UP. Herbalife's a pyramid scheme. My dad was a financial crawler, went for a job interview with Herbalife, not kosher in his words, 100%. Why am I now getting DOMs? It could just be slightly different stimulus. It could be the fact that you could have changed your diet so you're actually able to lift properly and stimulate. You could be more mobile now, so you're able to stimulate muscle differently. There's a million different reasons in that. Loads of different reasons. DOMs good, bad, or indifferent? They are completely indifferent. It's always worth having DOMs for the first couple of sessions of a new workout phase because it indicates that your body is not adapted to it. But is it indicative of a good workout? No, it isn't at all. I want to be on that 12-week program to lose some weight. How do I get on it? I want a personal trainer as well. Zara, if you go to upfitness.com, that's upfitness.com, go to the online training section, and that will take you to the either Live Up or one-to-one online training. Those are your best options, depending on your budget. And of course, you've got Manchester, which is not far from you, and potentially soon there could be more gyms opening in your area, so you can also do one-to-one. I think that answers the Herbalife questions. It does, you know, stuff like that. I want to be able to give you my true opinion, and on my personal profile, I probably would, but here I cannot. It's interesting. I've said it before, and say it again. About 18 months ago, when Nick asked me to help out with a different part of the business, he said, listen, what I just need you to do is do for me what you do for you, you know, on the social media and do all this. Do for me what you do for you, only be less Elliot. That's what he said. So this is why I have to tone some things down. Why am I getting DOMs now when I never used to despite working out? It could literally be a number of reasons. You could be more flexible, you could be stimulating better, you could be more experienced at feeling, you could be getting better time under tension. You know, the fact that you're lifting heavier, so you could have passed a point of where you're actually able to stimulate and cause muscle breakdown. What, did I miss anything? Nope. Navis, 15% body fat. Have always favoured high-fat diet, been taking lots of glutamine post-workout and evening to replenish glycogen. Now, twice a day training, should I add carbs post-workout? I certainly would if you're training twice a day, because you're really going to struggle to recover from that. So yeah, absolutely. If you've got less shaped boobs from breastfeeding and also from losing so much body fat in your program, what is the best way to keep them shaped and well working chest muscle will help, or am I screwed? Unfortunately not, Alicia. Boobs are essentially fatty tissue. No, we all love boobs. They are absolutely awesome, but it's essentially fatty tissue. So once you get leaner, they are inevitably going to go south a little bit. Will training your chest help them? No, it will not. If anything, training your chest is more likely to give the illusion that your chest is sagging, because it will push, as this gets bigger, it pushes the breast tissue lower. You know, it's a very common misconception. Training your chest is not going to lift your boobs at all. Not going to happen. Ultimately, the solution is usually implants. So maybe something to look into, but again, do you need them? You know, it's a decision you may want to look into. If not, but certainly don't let it get to you. It does happen. And the fact, again, you know, if you're breastfed, you've come out with a young child or 2 or 3, however many you have, and it's an amazing thing. It's worth it. Zara, thank you ever so much. I'm just waiting for you to open in Birmingham's. Okay. Is there a UP book where I can get it, or where can I get it? What's the best shake to take? Best shake to take is some form of protein. You can get our whey protein or our vegan protein on upfitness.com. Take it post-workout only. Do not replace your meals with shakes. That is not smart. And is there a UP book? Yes, if you go to amazon.co.uk and you type in Ultimate Performance or UP Fitness, and it will bring up the books that we have currently done. That will be the 12-week body plan with Joe, the Ultimate 12-week body guide with Joe. That will be the meal planning book that Nick wrote, and it will be the principles of muscle building that Nick also wrote, which were our most recent ones. Fructose before training, not post, right? Better option for complex carbs. They don't really act in the same way. It's not insulinogenic, so it's kind of irrelevant. Doesn't necessarily matter to my knowledge. And the better option for complex carbs, I'm a big fan of oats. I love oats, oats or rice. When carb cycling, low carb 50 grams on training days and high carbs on rest days. What? When carb cycling, low carb, 50 no, you do it the other way round, Vil. So you go high carb on the training days, you go low carb on the rest days. Now, what's the best training for a rugby prop to improve short sprint speed, please? Potentially something like weighted sprints. You know, if we talk about, you know, prowlers, you can use a parachute, a small parachute, do sprints like that. You can do fast sled drags and short speed work, you know, 20-meter sprints. Keep them short and powerful. You can also work, you know, you go powerful squats, heavy squats, but exploding up 2-3 reps maximum. Get your hip extension working correctly, and that's also going to speed you up. So, you know, it's trained for what you need to do. If you are looking to sprint quickly, something that's really effective is always going to be pushes or pulls, sprinted pulls with X amount of weight. Just don't load it up. You know, if you're trying to build speed and you put 60 kilos on a sled behind you and then try and run with it, you're not moving fast. Yeah, you're going to get strong and you're going to burn a lot of fat and you're going to probably build a good amount of muscle, but you're not actually moving quickly. So, you know, add 10 kilos, sprint for 50 meters, add 15 kilos, sprint for 50 meters, but keep your speed there. That will be the best way to do it. Philly, no problem. Throat's starting to hurt now, I'm at that spot. Philly, that's what I thought in the Ultimate Transformation Plan. It's written like that. I'll have to have a look at that. I think the book is down there. I'll check it out. But the way I carb cycle personally is I do high carbs on training days. I do low carbs on non-training days, rest days, cardio days, etc. So the idea behind that is that the days where you're using the most fuel, i.e. weight training, you're using the most fuel there, so you have a greater demand for glucose. That's why we do it. And then obviously on rest days, when you're not, if you're sitting on the sofa or you're walking around, there's a lower demand for glucose, therefore you need less carbohydrates. Easy, easy, easy. Right, we've got 9 minutes, people, so keep these coming. I've got an anterior pelvic tilt. How can I improve my posture and lessen the tilt? Humble Graham, the best ways to do that, number one, first and foremost, is to make your glutes work. Hip thrusts, do correct form hip thrusts, which would be in a posterior pelvic tilt. So hip thrusts and hamstring work potentially could pull your hips back into line. So those would be the ones. You've probably got slightly underactive glute major and your hamstrings may not be firing well enough. So hamstring work, glute work, and stretch your back. Also abdominal work, you know, learn how to use your abs properly. Thanks for your advice, always helpful, no problem. Hamza, what variables to change with a female dieting that has PCOS? What do you mean, what variables? Second question with regards to rugby, how many times should I resistance train when I have a match on a Saturday? I would suggest probably no more than 3, because if you want to be strong and you don't want to end up overtraining, because obviously if you're overtraining, you're going to be losing power, you're going to be fatiguing quicker anyway. I would suggest probably going for about 3 sessions. Do 2 strength, 1 power. Keep the power one fairly short and with high rest. I want to maintain my weight but gain muscle mass. Okay, Mayank, that's good. What is your question? What can I help you with in relation to that? Be a bit more specific with these questions and I can answer them a little bit better. Philly, thanks for all your advice, no problem at all. Would you class brown whole grain microwavable rice as a processed food and to avoid? Not necessarily, no. I don't think that's the worst. You know, if you start nitpicking on stuff like that, ultimately, if you sweat such tiny things, you're probably going to end up causing issues. Get the main stuff right. You know, if it's brown rice, it's not covered in shit, it's not covered in oils, then you're probably going to be okay. I'm talking more about, you know, something like a protein bar is several different things with preservatives and binding agents and all these chemicals and shit that's been put into, you know, it's like pouring battery acid down your throat. Should they diet any differently if they have PCOS? Usually a lower carb, low inflammatory diet is going to be more beneficial for people with PCOS. So yes, drop their carbs out, higher fat. How can I maintain my weight and gain muscle mass? By getting leaner as you gain muscle mass, I would suggest, you know, unless you're absolutely diced, unless you're jacked, you're covered in veins, you're super, super lean, chances are you're gonna gain weight when you gain muscle mass anyway. Of course, however, if you're soft, a little bit flabby, you've got a little bit of fat to lose, then lose the fat and you'll be able to gain muscle whilst being leaner or even lighter. What's the best exercise to help open up the hip flexor? For me, better than anything if you want to train while you do it is a rear foot elevated split squat. Making sure you go into full range and squeeze the glute on the back leg as you do it. So if you even stand up wherever you're watching this now, you stand up, you get into a split squat position. Don't even necessarily have to do it with the rear foot elevated. If you're standing next to your sofa, then put your back foot up on the sofa if you haven't got your shoes on. Back foot up on the sofa, squeeze your glute and lower down into the bottom half of a split squat, and you'll feel what that does to your hip flexor. Obviously keeping the body directly upright above the hip. Third and final one, could you explain active recovery, please? Active recovery is doing something on a rest day, basically. You know, so it could be swimming, it could be walking, it could be cycling, it could be something that's not overloading the muscular system or the nervous system, but is allowing you to still recover and burn calories. I've dropped 7 stone this year, 42 years old, awesome, well done. It's becoming increasingly harder. How can I keep the momentum going? Reckon it does that. You know, it's not always going to be really, really easy to drop weight. The leaner you get, the harder your body pushes back. You know, just make sure you're progressively training in the gym. Make sure you're recording your weights. Make sure you're constantly moving there. Keep an eye on your calories. You know, the fact is it's going to slow down. It's always going to slow down. But, you know, otherwise, if it didn't, you'd end up at 0% body fat in 6 months. Of course, it's going to slow down. So first and foremost, accept that. Secondly, when it starts to plateau, look at what may need to change. Could it be your rest? Could it be your recovery? Could you need more calories, less calories? Does your training need to move about? Has it stagnated? Are you still progressing? Are you recording your weights, etc.? Mynac, no problem. What advice would you give to someone who is estrogen dominant? I feel this is why I always have the lower pouch, no matter how much I use. Humblegram, first and foremost, get it tested. Go and get your estradiol tested with your doctor. Secondly, lots and lots of green vegetables such as broccoli, spinach, cauliflower, kale. They've got a compound in them called indole 3-carbinol, which helps to reduce aromatization, so that's your body's conversion of testosterone into estrogens, so that can really, really help. Also supplement with dim and calcium D-glucarate or our estro support sup, which can be found on upfitness.com. Anyone with estrogen style body fat patterns, i.e. hips, belly, man boobs as a male, or potentially thighs, arms and bum as a female, you can benefit from something like estro support, which is a really effective supplement. I take it every single day because I have estrogen issues. Take it every single day. That can be really useful. It helps to support both phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3, so that's not both, but all phases of detoxification. How to prevent hair loss. If I knew that, I would be a billionaire by now. Thank you for the advice, pal. No problem, Wrecking Ball. Alicia, what is the best way to lose the last 5 kilograms? I weight train 4 days a week, 1 to 2 days of cardio, eat 1,250 calories, but feel stuck. To lose the last kilograms, is supplements the answer? No, it sounds to me, Alicia, unless you're about 40 kilos, you're probably eating too little and your thyroid has started to slow down. Those calories seem really, really low to me. Jack say, working hard as usual, you mountain of knowledge, something like that. Mountain, unfortunately not, just a moderately sized hill. Just ordered the book, thank you. Awesome, Keldan Brook. You will enjoy it, you really will. I love my lemon water, it's fabulous. I've been using the word fabulous a lot recently, I don't know why. It's ever so camp. What's the best way to lose belly fat? Best way to lose belly fat is to control your calories. Make sure you're in a slight calorie deficit between 250 and 500 calories below your baseline, and exercise frequently, 3 to 5 days a week depending on your recovery. Don't do too long a sessions, and make sure the exercise is fast and intense. Don't mooch around the gym playing on your phone, reading magazines, scrolling through Instagram. Get in there, get it done, work hard and get out, and keep your calories controlled. One more question. If you know your estrogen levels are normal, is it necessary for estro support? Not necessarily necessary, but it certainly can be beneficial. You know, it's something that I would potentially recommend for the majority of people, because you know, you may not have a lot of aromatization activity going on in your body, but it can also help with cleansing other stuff from your liver. The fact of the matter is, you know, let's look at your shampoos, stuff like that. Shampoos, cosmetics, makeups in females. Your head and face absorbs more stuff from the outside world than every other part of your body apart from your mouth. Okay, so whatever you are putting in your head, shampoos, makeups, moisturizers, hair dyes, whatever, is being absorbed at an astonishing rate. And all of these contribute to harmful estrogen levels, xenoestrogens, 4 and 16 hydroxyestrogens that are not good for their body. They are damaging to the body. Estro support helps to keep them in check and keep them low. So it could be worth it. I still think it's worth doing. Who did you learn the most from in the fitness industry? Nick Mitchell. You mentioned something about cider vinegar last week, but I missed the question. I drink lime and Himalayan salt in the mornings. Should I add cider vinegar? Not necessarily. It's kind of do a similar thing. Good thing about cider vinegar is it can help to balance gut microbiome. So it can help with gut bacteria, it can rebalance that, make sure you're winning the fight in there. So, you know, adding a shot of it in the morning is beneficial. I wouldn't necessarily add it to your lemon and lime water because it'll taste like shit. But yeah, by all means add another little bit of water with a cap of apple cider vinegar, neck that in the morning. Does it have effects on the livers and stuff like that? Not necessarily sure, but it certainly does have an effect on the gut, so that can really help. What is the book called? you're either talking about ours, which are the Principles of Muscle Building, and the UP Meal Planning book, which both can be found on Amazon, or the one I was mentioning earlier, which is this one, which is Frederick Delavier's Strength Training Anatomy, which is extremely good book for learning your anatomy and physiology and the basic theory behind training. Good point. Thanks, Elliot. No worries at all. 50 seconds remaining, so get these questions in fast. You know, these are quick fire, so no more big detailed answers, just shoot them at me. 45 seconds remaining, let's have them. David, hey, thanks for doing this, no problem at all. Thanks for saying thanks. Now, what's the importance of shoulder protraction during press-ups or other press-pulling movements? RE scapular and shoulder movement together rather than isolated. So it will be partially to help with serratus anterior and posterior, which are very good stabilizers. There's a million different ways to skin a cat on that. It's quite a big subject, but some people are going to do it with retracted shoulders to keep the shoulder blade simple and get the chest working as hard as possible, whereas other people, especially people who do calisthenics, will suggest protracting the shoulder while you push away, which is going to help with serratus anterior. This is me out. I've got 5 seconds. How much is PT for me? I don't do one-to-one PT anymore, but thank you for joining. Goodbye. This has been UP Fitness. YouTube, that was our live feed. Instagram at UP Fitness Live. My Instagram at Elliot Upton, if you don't already follow me. If you like this, comment below if you have any questions. Share it out to your Facebook, your Twitter, wherever you can. Share the wealth, share the knowledge, and make sure we get lots of people coming on here. If you have any interest in the Live Up programs, the online personal training programs, or one-to-one in any of our gyms, I will put the links in the description box below. But with all of that said, I will leave you to enjoy the rest of your day or night or whatever time it is you've watched this. I'll see you next week. I've been Elliot Upton. Peace out.